Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to the southern wing of the Stink Bug Works. Today, normally you get unscripted, unedited, unrehearsed, unwarranted, unuseful videos from Dr. Jet. Today, I actually have a script. Here it is, right here. It says eBay, Big B, and gears. Today we're going to talk about eBay, Big B, and gears. eBay. I saw something on eBay that, God, I'd love to jump on it, but it would be more work than it would be worth. But there is a model boater selling an assortment of high-end, well-built boats, and he's up in Bakersfield. Now, Bakersfield is a 5-hour drive from here, 6 hours maybe. I could go up to Bakersfield and back in a day. And this guy has, for lack of better words, a boatload of boats. A handful of them nitro, most of them electric, but he's got some H&M hulls there. It looks like he's got some JAE riggers. He's got a good supportment. There's a couple of Delta Forces in there. There's like 20 boats or something. Now, he wants $4,000 for the lot. And when I look at what's in there, $4,000 is a fair price. But, remember, Dr. Jet said no new boats in without old boats out. So here's what I'm thinking. This is a pretty good deal. There's some good boats there, but the problem is he wants to sell them all at once to one party who will pick them up for $4,000. Well, guess what? I'm not really far away from him. I have that kind of money just laying around in my play fund, and I have half a mind to go up and grab it and then resell everything to somebody that would want just the one and, break even on the deal. Or maybe get a couple of dinners out of it. That would be cool. I don't need to make money on the boat business. And what would I make? A couple $100? I kind of like the idea of just passing on a good deal. This guy has some nice stuff. Go on eBay and look for a guy selling a lot of boats up in Bakersfield for $4,000. There's one problem now. Here's what he's doing to get around the problem. He's not going to ship that stuff. Shipping would cost $8,000. He knows it. And were I to buy these things and then just part them out one at a time, like I'm kind of thinking, shipping would be horrendous too. So I got to find a better way to ship boats because, just these kits cost me $15-20 to ship them across the country, and they weigh 14 ounces, and the longest dimension is 24 inches. But shipping is pricey nowadays. So anyway, there's my thoughts about eBay. What do you guys think about that? Should I buy a bunch of boats and then resell them and give you guys a good deal? Are there enough guys out there that would be interested to make it worth my while? Or would I be stuck with 17 boats I can't get rid of? That's probably more realistic. But those are thoughts that go through Dr. Jet's mind. He may or may not act on them. This one might fall into the category of may not act. Okay, next thing. Big B and and SPX, which is now the TunnelJet. When I first sat down to start designing this thing, my motivating factor was I wanted a showcase to display this cool motor mount. This cool motor mount system that I found that, it's a bitchin' way to mount a motor, and I kind of wanted to show it off. And Big B has gone off on a different tangent, and I kind of like, in a way, 80% of what he's doing. And I'm thinking of putting in the other 20% and making two options available for this. Big B is using the motor that came with this dummy drive in that little ProBoat 17-inch racer. Well, what if, and I kind of like that it fits and it's the right power size. What if I were to redesign this to use not only the ProBoat motor, and I'd have to do some design work to get it to tilt and hide the screws, but I think I know how I'm going to do that. So I could redesign this around that ProBoat motor, the Outrunner, and then use the 3mm straight shaft and U-joint that they did on that other boat. Now, here's the one thing. That other boat had the motor right back here and had a real short drive shaft. For weight and balance purposes, I had to move the motor up forward to get it to balance. And that's not a big deal because precision 3mm shafts are readily available and they're a dime a dozen. So just replace the short shaft from the stock boat with a longer shaft. Use the U-joint, use the whole system, use the whole drive from that boat. What do you guys think about making that as an option? That's out there. That option would be made after I finish that cat haul. This is something in the future. Although Big B he made his motor movable, and that's exactly what I want him to do. So he can try all the different angles and such and then report back, and then I'll just build that into the kit. If he says, it works best at about 4 to 5 degrees, okay, I'll put in 4.5 degrees right there. Boop, there you got it. So this thing's still prototypical. I've been wanting to run this thing, but the weather's been so crappy here lately. It's just drizzly rain. It's kind of like, I don't want to go out in this. So I'm waiting for the weather to improve. Next time out, you'll see this. You'll see that little plastic styrene hull boat and that little twin cat. So those will be the next guys out on the pond. Okay, now back to my script. Gears. Gears. Remember I talked about getting some stupid high KV motors and putting them on a gear drive that would drive counter-rotating props for a drag boat. Well, I have good news and bad news. The good news is it's doable. The bad news is to do it right, it's horrendously expensive. It's not fast, cheap, and out of control. It's fast and spending out of control. So I may bank that idea for a while. Another thing with that is when you have two propeller shafts, they have to be separated by half this propeller diameter and half that propeller diameter, or at least a propeller diameter. So the same thing up at the gearbox end of it would be happening, that the output gears have to be larger than the props. And in fact, the size of the output gears would by default determine the spacing of the shafts. So those are not insurmountable problems. Sometimes those output gears are $30 each, and you actually need two 48 teeth and one at 39 teeth to make it work, kind of thing. So you might need three of them. By the time you put ball bearings, precision 5mm shafts, gears in the side air, you've spent $150 already. So then by the time you replace the air with the brackets that are going to hold all the bearings and hold all the gears and hold the motor, there's more on top of that. So it may not be a cost-effective thing. It may just go the way of the dodo. So I think I've covered all three subjects in my script. Until next time, boys and girls, jet out.